Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I am sorry I'm late, but I was handling some technical issues, trying to expand the reach of the broadcast. But I'll tell you what happened with that. But anyway, folks, we got SCOTUS decisions. We've got things to talk about. Things are constantly moving. And for those of you who stayed up late enough for me to start my broadcast, thank you for joining me tonight. And everybody who watches the show afterwards, I do appreciate it. So anyway, what do I usually do? I play some videos while people get in, settle in, get themselves a cup of coffee, a nice cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage of their choice, or whatever is your want. And then, I guess I'll play this guy here. Let me put this clown up to remind everybody. He says he got space in Donald Trump's head. We'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Has Donald Trump called you for advice or talked to you at all? And first of all, you've given him some pretty good advice so far, if you have.
Yeah.
But has he called and talked to you? I would call you.
No, he hasn't.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope, with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boo. Called him crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields to Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, Patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
So think about what
4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. Must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. How is everyone doing? I got on my screen there. Drain it. Drain it. So let's see who all came to see me tonight. Todd's here. Rubber Toes here. Nice to see you. Wayne is giving me thumbs ups. I appreciate that, Wayne. Sherry's here. Elva's here. Nice to see you, Rebecca. Mr. Kibler. Can't ask cleanup. Kim is here. Yeah. Robin's here. All right. Sherry, nice to see you. Let's see. Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody? Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Somebody's birthday? Robin's here. Let's see. Darla, nice to see you. Let's see. Yeah. MM also stands for Miss Mindersu, but we haven't seen her in. Did I miss her? It's her birthday today? I didn't see her name. But anyway, folks, she'll show up. We'll wish her a happy birthday. We'll even get Roland to sing to her. But anyway, we had these SCOTUS rulings, and some of them were mealy-mouthed. But one big one was getting rid of federal employees at will. At will. Out of here. So let's all hope that my prognostications about... Oh, she's hiding, Kim says. Brett, how you doing? My prognostications about probably everybody that is in any position of responsibility. Their social media is being gone over, their internal communications. Anybody who's part of this bunch of miscreants that want to destroy Donald Trump's reputation, use their power to harm people who vote conservative, that they'll all be just summarily, a list made up and just get the hell out. And I, for those of you who have been with me for years, I said years ago, what are we going to do with all these people? Tens of thousands. That's what Trump is looking over. Now, to be fair, he's in Marine One, looking out over the improvements done to the Capitol on the 4th of July. But he's also very well aware how deep and widespread this infection of Marxist thinking, okay, of bureaucratic abuses, of a state within a state, how far it's gone. That's why he ceded to the election to the communists politically. He said she's going to win the D.C. mayor, and we'll just take over if she does. If she doesn't act right, because he knows all the votes in D.C. They're full. They put their cronies in, nothing but cronies and relatives and fellow Marxists and people that work for Stanford University, Harvard, and all this other crap. And it is a boil that of elitists and narrative. And we'll do it. We'll do it. This starts a process. Now, is Trump gonna come out with big, huge firings? No, I don't believe so. I think he's going to do it in a paced way. He's going to get rid of the worst of the worst. We're going to go through the 4th of July and celebrate the country. He's going to be a unifier. And what's the magic words there? Magic word. What brings unity? Helps bring unity. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. It's a feeling. It's you don't want to have a reputation of unfairly and angrily getting rid of people without reason, just escort them out of the building. Although that's going to happen, but you don't want it to overwhelm the news. Not right now. What brings unity? Let's see if anybody gets it. Miss Mendersu. Did somebody already? Ugly cold day today. They say a heat wave's coming. We're having a heat wave, a tropical. Somebody spilled some beans on you, Miss Mendersu. They spilled some beans. Ha 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 ha. We heard you're 39 again. To say I'm 39 again. That's what I used to tell people. And then when I hit 50, I'd say 49. All the way up in the mid 50s, I'd say I'm 49. So anyway, there you go, Miss Mendersu, some hearts for you. Why? Because we're wishing you a happy birthday to you. And we'll get rolling to sing for you when he comes in. I don't know if he opens his door and goes out on the porch and sings real loud. Ha ha ha. I shouldn't talk about him. He's not here. So anyway, happy birthday, Miss Mendersu. If our information is correct. So anyway, I'm looking for the magic word. I don't see it. So I will go ahead and tell you, and Trump said it. Success brings unity. Success brings unity. And, I did want to change my intro video to something more inspiring, more unifying, because there are going to be people working for the government that actually do some work, but are swept up in this dementia, Trump-hating, delusional thoughts that are going to see, things are getting better. Things are looking cleaner around here. Things, and they may look at things differently, and things will change how they look, right? And you may want to keep them. So he's going to do a temper of the deep state, tempered to some degree. There's some you can just forget about it. And I forgot. Let's see who. There's Todd. Hi, Todd. KNS cleanups here. Yeah, we'll party. One of these days we'll party. Hi, Cole. Nice to see you. Tammy's your right hand. Right there with you. All right. So anyway, here's something for your meta page. Because it's I used to say it and I would break the words up because you'd be called a bully and whatever, but I've said it for years. Now it's starting to become part of the lexicon. A Democrat socialist is a communist. I said socialist. A communist was a socialist in a hurry, right? Mac, how you doing? And we're gonna hear a lot of those things, a lot of those old sayings that I used to say and I used to repeat to you all that my father used to say to me. It reminds me. Wait a minute, let me find it. Here it is. Here it is. You all got to laugh at it when I said this last week. This came out today. Remember me saying this term last week and everybody laughed, thought it was funny? It was about 5 years ago. I was doing broadcast selling. I told my dad, I said, I'm having problems at work. These people, this clique is really a problem, and I'm not in that clique and they don't like me and I don't know what I'm going to do about it. He said, don't worry, they're going to start eating their own. And he told me that 40 years ago. That's where I first heard that term. They're going to start eating their own. And, I guess these sayings just fall by the wayside. And now it's being said all over the place. Here you got Sky News Australia. All the kooky liberals are going to start eating their own. The far left Democrat brutally heckled by the LGBTQ crowd. So they're trying to save themselves. And you can forget it. I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, Stalin took out Trotsky, and Trotsky, I'm sure he took out his enemies. I got to get a video of him riding around on a train, exhorting people at villages. If you find a counter-revolutionary, you SHOOT them on the spot. Who did not want to open their doors to their house to other people who just felt like they deserved it. He was saying to just take them out of the house and take care of them. He would go to hundreds of villages with that message. And it's a YouTube video. I'll play some of it. Well, they say it's a heat wave coming. Hi, Frank. So, just sing that song and enjoy what you got because it's going to be getting hot. Sing to yourself, baby, it's cold outside. Or like Biden said, put a record on the phonograph that plays that song. So happy birthday, Miss Bender Sue Cole says. There you go. And anyway, so, nothing's perfect. We had some disappointments. I had some stories about Raphael Warnock, the communist senator who got in during the corrupt and crooked election. Remember that now. And he's a communist. He said he was a communist. And so I'm not making derogatory remarks. I'm repeating what he said. Politically slapped him around a little bit in the back room. Get that word out of your mouth. Whap, whap, whap. It's Democrat socialist now. Oh, okay. Not communist, Democrat. Okay. So now that's what he's running with. I'm a Democrat socialist. And he's got about as much business being a United States senator as the man on the moon. He's in there totally because of fraud and cheating. And in my back and forth with people in comments on YouTube, Up pops this business. Trump said in a phone call, find me 11,451 votes, or how much it was. And that's Donald Trump was committing a crime, threatening officials. I said, no, he told them. He told them to find him that many votes. Out of all the dead people that illegally voted, you could find 11,000 to throw out where Trump would be the rightful winner. He didn't ask nobody nothing. He told them to. But anyway, this individual is a result of that crooked process. A communist in power. And you got to pry him out. I mean, you got to pry him out of power. You can't shame him. But anyway, here's a little speech he's given because he's trying to keep from being eaten alive by the I'll just call him, say, whatever, interchangeable, okay? Because that's who they're in bed with. That's who they're in bed with. And you can't get out, okay? You're in there with them, buddy. So he's trying to make it comfortable. If I've got to be in bed with him, try to, make it comfortable. So he's reaching out. And, you can't separate the two. You can't separate communism and heresy, okay? And here he is speaking heresy because he is reaching out to the hedonist crowd.
We Christian folk have been blind to our bigotry, to the ways in which we are inhospitable to those who have another way to the center. And then Jews and Muslims and Hindus and Sikhs and others had to stand up and say, we too know something about the glory of God. We talked about equal protection under the law while marginalizing members of the LGBTQ community. But then they found their voice and said, we too know something about the glory of God. It takes all of us to see the glory of God. So we have to push hard against bigotry and racism, and anti-Semitism, transphobia, xenophobia in all of its forms, because it is violence not only against humanity, but against divinity. It is an offense to the glory of God.
Oh, you offend the glory of God if you're so-called transphobic. Ain't that something? I thought that was an abomination in the eyes of God. No, I don't think it. I know it. I know it. So what he's saying there is heresy. And here is a little reminder. This person was the Biden administration liaison for something like the okay to be gay. Oh, come on, it doesn't want to expand. Yeah, it's part of the reason why I'm up late. I was having trouble with technical stuff. But anyway, this is a special envoy to advance the rights of the alphabet crowd, okay? And okay, two cities, what were they called? Sodom, Gomorrah. Okay, that crowd. But anyway, I haven't listened to this yet, but we don't even know what we're looking at here. Okay? I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Hello, I'm Jessica Stern, the U.S. Department of State's Special Envoy to advance the human rights of LGBTQI+ persons. In a world where some 70 countries criminalize LGBTQI+ status or conduct, and where stigma and rejection are daily realities in countless more, LGBTQI plus people do not enjoy equal human rights. LGBTQI plus people who are targeted based on race, gender identity or expression, sex characteristics, class, religion, indigeneity, ability, age, or any other status face heightened vulnerability. Everyone deserves the opportunity to achieve their full potential without violence or discrimination. LGBTQI plus people are our neighbors, coworkers, friends, and family, even our children. The United States considers the human rights of LGBTQI plus persons a priority and is committed to being a leader in the fight for global equality. I'm honored to serve alongside the dedicated activists, allies, and organizations in our shared work to secure dignity and human rights for all.
So yeah, there you go. The State Department. That, of course, that doesn't exist anymore. Whatever, is not active anymore. So yeah, if you don't let them come in close contact to influence your young people, then you are violating their human rights. So anyway, you get the picture. That is going to be inextricably tied together with the Demon Rat Party, and they can't shake it. They can't shake it. That and communism. So what do you think is going to be the natural reaction of the populace? What do you think is going to be the natural reaction of the populace? It's going to be to reject it. It's unnatural. Ha ha ha. Well, got to watch what you say, because I think I got some stuff. Oh, he did. He went after. I haven't been on checking media for about an hour before I went live, because I was trying to straighten stuff out. So anyway. What are we going to do with all those tens of thousands of people that are going to be going out the door? And it's going to be over a period of time. It's going to be over a period of years. We're going to get through the midterms. And then a lot of stuff that is just being nursed along is going to... that's Katie bar the door. Trump doesn't have to run for re-election again. He may, I don't know. And I believe he'll have control of both houses of Congress, and we won't have rhinos to deal with. Ha ha, I see what you're saying there, Miss Minister. Yeah. Yeah, and the more we point this kind of stuff out, the less chance there are of children getting sucked into that. It is so easy to dupe children, especially with peer pressure. And, oh my goodness. There's my thumbnail from last night. Pick your hero. What do you want to be? Somebody run around vandalizing the reflecting pool, or somebody taking out weirdos? I'd rather be taking out weirdos. Thank you very much. But anyway. Speaking of the reflecting pool, Trump put this out. No, this is CNN. Oh, wait a minute. What are they talking about? Here is they're trying to create an issue where issue doesn't exist. Anything you have, a fountain, a pool, anything you have, a monument or an attraction that has water in it needs maintenance. Period. The 1.7 million ozone nanobubbler, in quotes, like it's some kind of crazy thing, like they used to say about Reagan. Reagan wants to have Star Wars defense. Ha ha ha. Ronald Reagan, get it? Ha ha ha. He's crazy. Now what do we got? Satellites all over Hell's Half Acre and lasers flying around. Just what Reagan envisioned. But this exists. as a way to keep pools, saunas, fountains clean. It's called a nano bubbler, using ozone particles, being used in an effort to make the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool water crystal clear, has a unique ability to shoot about 500 million microscopic bubbles into every teaspoon of water. The injected oxygen is supposed to oxidize. You can buy these things for your pool at home. They're much smaller, of course, but you can have a huge swimming pool in your backyard and buy your own nano bubbler rather than use chlorine. Unscientifically speaking, smash through algae, bacteria, and other chemicals. Well, what it does, it just disrupts the ability of algae and other fungi or whatever to get the benefits of the water. It's just like constantly sitting there, like throwing pebbles at them every time they open their mouth. They get a ozone blast in their crawl when they try to. But anyway, they're acting like it is some kind of extra expense, some oddball thing Trump's trying to do. Look at this. The CNN, I can't wait for them to get sued. Or that guy get fired, okay, that told the Paramount board, you guys aren't going to. The so-called nano bubblers save the reflecting pool. Look at a pool catalog, and you'll. But anyway, constant tearing Trump down, constant. Now we get anybody in tonight. One person came in at the very end of the show. His broadcast is very aggravating. You can't engage in a conversation. Just let them roll. We'll get to them. So anyway, SCOTUS said U.S. Supreme Court rules. States may count mail ballots that arrive after Election Day. And people are thinking, oh my God, Supreme Court says it's okay to have election month or election week, right? To give the benefit of the doubt to Amy Coney Barrett and others, they were doing a very strict reading of what the law allows. And Congress can change it. Okay? What the court was basically saying was that the courts can't micromanage or create law or policy in an area that is under Congress's purview, that they shouldn't be doing that. That's one of the reasons. And according to the reading, what Amy Coney Barrett was saying, that, these things, you have an election, and then there's a period of time where you pick electors to effectuate the election in Congress. Remember that stuff? Oh, yeah, we're the electors from this and this state, and we've chosen so-so. So there's a period of time there beyond Election Day where electors are chosen and things are ironed out here and there. And if Congress wants a specific day for votes to be tallied, they need to pass the law. Now, I am on the side of like Clarence Thomas and the others that say it's something that goes without saying. It goes without saying. I don't agree with this ruling, but it's not insurmountable. Congress needs to take care of it and codify and be more specific, or as a friend of mine used to say, Pacific. And he would like to go get some Paschetti. But anyway, he's going on to his great reward too. But anyway, so I'm not sweating that too much. Trump makes a mention of it, and it's just one more reason to pass the SAVE Act. passed the SAVE Act. Let's see what Donald Trump had to say. Big win just moments ago at the Supreme Court in the Slaughter case. Well, man, ain't that a name in our country to remove executive branch officers and agency appointees or representatives under Article 2. This decision was long sought by United States presidents dating all the way back to the 1930s. It is such an honor to be the sitting president. I guarantee you Reagan wish he had this. I know Reagan wish he had it. Such an honor to be sitting president who won this historic and unprecedented ruling. One of the most important ever given with respect to presidential powers. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So, yeah. A lot is going to be changing. A lot of people are going to be looking for work. But these universities will pick them up. They'll pick them up. But, hey, we're going to start taking care of them too. We're not going to have all this foreign money to influence things and give their cronies feathers for their nest, right? Surprisingly, the Supreme Court declined to review a fake case brought against me by a woman I've never met. And yeah, here it is. Where's the god-awful individual known as E. Jean Carroll? How can you defame that? How can you defame that? Here she is. That's an old picture. She's a lot more beat up than she looks, and she's already beat up enough in this picture. Supreme Court rejects President Trump's appeal of E. Jean Carroll defamation case. The Supreme Court has denied President Trump's appeal of the $5 million jury findings in the 2022 defamation case brought against him by writer E. Jean Carroll. Now, there's a lot of different points of view on this. One of them is that it is proving that the Supreme Court is not in the bag for Donald Trump, which is one thing the left keeps screaming about. The Supreme Court is on the take. They're crooked. They're always ruling for Trump. Well, they can't say that now. And, is she going to get $5 million? I don't know. One thing they made Trump do is divest himself of a lot of his holdings, put stuff in blind trusts, corporations, who knows, as his individual person. Remember what they did to Rudy Giuliani? They went in his apartment. Okay, they took over the apartment and his watch and all. Of course, Donald Trump ain't going to have to go through that. But look what they did. So I don't know what the extent of that $5 million is, but I know that it's like a nickel to you and me. It's the principle. Well, how do you take care of that? Add another $10 million when you sue CNN, while you're suing CNN, and just say, well, half of it's for E. Jean Carroll and the other half is a middle finger for you all sticking up for E. Jean Carroll, okay? You could do that. You could, in your pursuit of the people who abuse the law, weaponize the legal system, and all the other offenses, you just add an extra on top there and let them know, okay? You're helping pay this. And, Trump knows how to get it, how to get that revenge. Retribution. Trump knows how to do it. He don't need me to tell him. So we'll see how that ball bounces. So, the good and the bad. They can't say the Supreme Court is totally in the bag for Trump anymore. And there's always down the road. I had a friend of mine tell me one time after a disappointment, life ain't over yet. Okay. So anyway, a woman I never met, decades old celebrity photo line, standing with her husband does not count. I will continue the fight against this weaponization and lawfare case against me, including the ridiculous claim of defamation, with all my powers and strength. This case is really against the United States of America and all it stands for, and should never be allowed to happen to another president or candidate to be. New York State created a law for an instant speck of time. Isn't that what I said was the Achilles heel, folks? Shall pass no ex post facto law. I said, remember that. After the fact. Can't pass a law after the fact and then try to apply it to a prior action. Anyway, going back many decades in order to wrongfully, quote, nab me. It was tailor-made. And this injustice cannot be allowed to stand. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So the battle isn't over yet, because there's still that $84 million in a separate case, right? In a separate case. And I don't know what the status of this $5 million lawsuit was when he went to the Supreme Court. Did he jump over some appeals courts or some other actions he could have taken just to get it out of the way, going directly to the Supreme Court? And now can he go back and avail himself of other actions that he leapfrogged over to put the damn thing to bed? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not overly upset about it. I'll get upset about it when Donald Trump gets upset. I'm sure he can handle it. And in the end, it's going to come together just like that. So anyway, what's the next one we have here? The Cook lawsuit. This is the one who's on the Federal Reserve. Now, this is different from individuals at will. They carved out something special for the Federal Reserve because it says in the creation of the Federal Reserve through Congress, it says that they have to be for cause, okay? So this convoluted ruling by the Supreme Court basically says Trump had the right to fire her, but one reason he used was a good reason, one reason he used was not a good reason, blah, 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 blah. So they send it back to the court, the lower court, for straightening it all out. And, okay, you didn't like the way I fired her using process A, but you like process B. She's got to see her way out of here, okay? Because one of them's going to work. That's basically what the ruling says. But anyway, the Cook lawsuit having to do with her suitability in sitting on the Federal Reserve Board of the Federal Reserve was sent back by the Supreme Court on a strictly procedural basis. We will take appropriate action immediately to make sure that someone who has committed wrongdoing will not be making vital decisions concerning the welfare of the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So they say she's got to be fired with cause. Now we're going to see the lawfare kick in. I don't know how effective it will be or how long it'll take, but the end of the road is coming up for Lisa, or whatever her name is, Cook, and we're going to be seeing rates dropping. Wait a minute. Let me see the chat here for a second. Get this out of the way so I can read them. So I can read the chats. I could have swore Jean was told she'd lost and had to pay Trump. So ABC's... I didn't hear that report, Miss Sue. Hi, Sparky. Yes, Tammy said hit the like button. Make sure you all hit the like button. I appreciate it. You know, I'm streaming on 2 platforms tonight, Kick and of course Utizzle. For what it's worth, you know, somebody might tune in. So anyway, we got some clips from Trump in the Oval Office. Somebody posted this picture. How long have I been saying it? How long have I been saying they're going to have to force the question? The question must be asked. We may have to force it. The media is ignoring it. The media will not ask the question because they put a non on the end of it, and operatives got Congress to condemn QAnon, okay? Which is different. But somebody held us up at a press conference, and of course the press is ignoring it because they can claim, well, Congress condemned that, and it's just a bunch of conspiracy theorists anyway. They don't have that qualification of anon. Get that off there, and then ask who is the letter, okay? So we're going to be seeing more of that. But it just shows you how effective these counter psyops are to get people talking about wilds, even if it's true. If it's so offensive and wild, you get people's focus off of these understandable issues, okay, and brand the entire movement as excessive. But anyway, the show of importance of the Slaughter case. 90 years of precedent has been completely and unequivocally overruled, greatly increasing presidential power at a time it is most needed. President Donald J. Trump, yeah, he's got everything you're looking at underneath that helicopter is infested with enemies, okay? People who want to do our nation harm and change our way of life. They're all walking around there like bugs, ants, and they got their cups of coffee. They got their offices and desks that serve no purpose other than to make them feel important. They get their paychecks. They get their health care. They get their vacation days, and on it goes. And they have no responsibility. They have nobody to answer to. And when the time comes to do a unified push against anybody who wants to stop their grift, they get mobilized. How much you want to bet people that were damaging the pool or involved in the planning of damaging the pool work for the government? Kind of like Tim Walsh's character, Key in Teslas, right? The reflecting pool, which suffered great damage due to the vandals and radical left scum that hate our country, has been for the past 2 days in full operation. It looks beautiful. After July 4th, we will release the water, fix the damage done to the very expensive waterproof matting with the use of sharp knives and muscle, including the 350-foot gash along its right side. Wait a minute, CNN said you're lying. That's worth how many millions, okay, from CNN? Sue them. And have it looking so as good as it was 2 weeks ago, when it was absolutely perfect. This will happen very quickly. Security is watching very carefully for the almost 70 other monuments, statues, and fountains that we renovated through Washington, D.C. If anyone attacks any of them, they get as much as 10 years in jail. In any event, go check it out. The reflecting pool is magnificent. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And here we go again. Gasoline retailers. I don't know what the gas was. I checked it about 5 or 6 hours ago. It was at 73. Okay. Must get their prices down immediately. So it went down earlier today. It was down at $68 a barrel. And heading south. The retailers must quickly react to this statement and do what they know is right. Drop your price for our great American people. There will be no gouging, which is totally illegal. If retailers don't do this, big problems lie ahead. Start targeting around the $2.50 a gallon number, and California should stop charging such heavy taxes on their gasoline. Soon, the tax will be higher than the product itself, and the United States will not stand for it, nor will we, the people of California. This taxes, and by their own government. President Donald J. Trump, yeah, they just started a new tax. Like that, piled on top of the rest of the garbage. Tammy, what are you talking about? No arrests. We're arresting people, but we can't have we can't. We're coming into our 4th of July holiday. They have arrested and deported 3 times as many this month as has been occurring in the past with Kristi Noem because of these rulings by the Supreme Court. And it's going to only grow and grow. We've arrested probably 10 people for the damage to the pool. John Bolton just pled guilty. And look what Clandestine let out. Let me see if I got it. Right here. I didn't go look at it because I know. All right? Look at that. Who's that? Clandestine said, must read. What? It's on Substack. Okay. Epstein, North Korea, Uranium 1. All go to Substack because this is what we really got to get going. People for throwing a rapper on the street when they're guilty of doing something way worse that you get the evidence together for. I'm being facetious. Okay? Why arrest them for small stuff that we all see going on when they got some big dirty stuff that's happened in the past that's going to cause them a lot of problems? And the nation needs to see it. You will see it. You will see it. But why have the narrative turn from celebrating the 4th of July, having a successful economy, the midterms coming, and we've got the momentum coming our way? No, wait a minute. Forget all that. Start arresting people and putting people in jail. And that would cause the media to just treat Trump like he was a Stalinistic leader and FUC, okay, and then K up our chances on the midterms. See what I'm saying? Optics mean a lot. And I said at the beginning of the broadcast, after the midterms, it's going to be Katie bar the door. Katie bar the door. They would love to portray Trump as a Stalinistic brute. He's got other people taking care of that. They're getting picked up. Do you think people appreciate what a fantastic job we did in building and operating the Great American State Fair at the National Mall, packed with happy people and everybody loving it? Ask yourself this simple question. Do you think that Obama or Sleepy Joe Biden could have done it? The answer is no. Yeah, we're trying to have fun, and we will have fun, no matter how much these weirdos and creepos tried to disrupt things and set a narrative, set an exaggerated narrative. We've got a beautiful country. We got a beautiful capital, okay, free of crime. We're heading into a golden age. Here's Donald Trump sent a golden gift to the White House for its 250th birthday year. Isn't that nice? My dad liked these eagles. I got a couple of them that you put above your door or put above at the peak of the eave of the house, an eagle. I got one I'm saving for a little place that I'm going to fix up. So, hi, Joker. Let's see. Oh, talking Dr. Frankenstein. Well, I'm missing out on the chats. Yeah, I agree, Kim. We want mugshots and silver bracelets. You think you're alone? Why are you thinking you're alone? We're going to be ready for it. And our neighbors are going to understand and they're going to be happy. We want a happy, safe, prosperous nation. That's what you work on right now. What you're doing, what Trump is doing right now is shutting off their ability to continue to harm the people. And what did I say was one of the most important things in battle? What did I say was one of the most important things in battle? Morale. Okay? Great painting, President Donald J. Trump. What is it? Who made this painting? Holy cow. You got George Washington. There's Trump on the other end. Because George Washington is the father of our country, and Donald J. Trump is the father of our reclamation of our constitutional republic. I have to take a real good look at this picture, see what they got in the background. Yeah, Joker, I talked about tar and feathering. And duels. Take a pair of gloves and slap them across the face and say, come on, got to go outside right now. But anyway, yeah, we got to stop their ability to disrupt and build up our nation. I'm going to save this in my studio. When somebody comes in and causing trouble, I'll say, we see you. We know who you are, who the troublemakers are. Oh, yeah, that right there. Right, who the cheaters are. Yeah. Like this. This is the way they think. So Benny Johnson's got where people can go in and put up a post, and he lets anybody post, and the lefties go in there, and he doesn't take them down. Let them show their rear ends, right? Who's this person? Sanic? What? Who? What? Seesaw or something like that. FedEx will deliver ballots free of charge. Laughy faces. Trump just keeps on losing. Blah, ha, 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 ha. And I put in the comments, see how they delight in thinking up ways to cheat. And who knows if it's true? Who knows if it's even legal for FedEx to deliver ballots? Who knows? But my point is, what's so funny about sending ballots out to, well, people that are illegal, people who have no business voting? Why does that make you laugh? Why does destroying the reputation, the trust in elections, why does that bring you joy, you weirdo? My bet is they're from a different country. You never got your pie? Roland never got his pie? What pie? It's Miss Bendersu's birthday, by the way. You better wish her happy birthday. So anyway, I'll save that. Here, John Bolton, he's, like scum, and Bolton pleads guilty for failing to store his stolen classified documents in his garage. Which one, Roland? Which one does SCOTUS screw up on? I think there's workarounds for everything that they decided today, and opportunities to change it in the future. Anyway, Trump posted this video right here. Chip Roy. Hold on. Only Americans should vote in American elections. How hard is that to figure out? Boy, I tell you what. Trump called it out today. Just what I was talking about last week and the week before that. Hi, sweet day. Well, see, sweet day, I've already talked about Amy Coney Barrett's ruling and how it can be worked around. People don't need to get themselves so emotionally distressed. Progress is progress, man. We're getting there, believe me. But anyway, here's Chip Roy.
To do to get this bill passed?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank the president for his leadership on this. It's such an important piece of legislation to guarantee, as you've already said, that only American citizens vote in American elections and that you have voter ID. This is common sense. Nobody in America really outwardly opposes this. 80% of Americans support it. Democrats, a majority of Democrats support it. People of all walks of life, whether you're male, female, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, you support this piece of legislation. Only the United States Senate is presenting a barrier to getting this common sense bill passed. And so to answer your question, I think first, the House, we need to continue to pass it. Speaker Johnson and I had a conversation this week, and I believe we're working to include the SAVE Act, the Save America Act, on the National Defense Authorization Act, so we can send another vehicle to the Senate to see if they'll break loose and pass it. We've passed it, as you know, 3 times. We're looking for the Senate to do their job. But at the end of the day, it's up to willpower. The Senate has the ability to do it. And for Senate Republicans who keep saying they don't have the votes, that's simply false. They've already had a test vote, and they had 50 votes for it. And with J.D. Vance, that's 51. It's a matter of having the willpower to structure the Senate to have, whether it's a talking filibuster or any other mechanism they want to carry forward, to force the bill to the floor at a majority vote. They can choose to do it. They're just simply not.
Yeah, what a shell game is going on with that. And Trump keeps giving Thune an opportunity. In the eyes of history, he can do the right thing. Here, let me see. These are different clips of him in the Oval Office. Let's see what this one is first. Let's see what he does get to the parliamentarian. I was talking about it last week and the week before. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, one of the first ones that's going to get fired by Trump is going to be whoever was causing that trouble in the archivist, okay, with the Library of Congress, who was involved in having his house raided. He might keep him on and play cards with him for a little bit. See if she drops any crumbs to who was assisting with that. We'll see how that goes. But here's Trump.
Here's what I would like to say. Much more than a bill, that big deal. It's a yawn. Some people say it's wonderful. To me, compared to the Save America Act, just about everything is a big yawn.
A big yawn. Everything is a big yawn except the Save America Act. That's the most important thing that needs to be passed right now. Most important thing. Oh, I got this total clip here. Wait a minute, that's one clip I don't need to play because it's also played in this one here. Let's see here, the first part. Get in trouble for fixing your own car. Hold on a second, let me go ahead and play this.
Mr. President, this is a presidential memo to the Environmental Protection Agency, a presidential memo supporting the freedom to fix. Americans have the freedom to fix their vehicle. President Trump insists upon it. We are not going to be going after people who are fixing their own vehicle like past administrations have. Additionally, we've been concerned, President Trump has been concerned about aftermarket parts, cheap knockoff aftermarket parts coming into the United States, harming small businesses, harming Americans. This presidential memo puts an end to it. Also, it's CARB in California, a process that's backlogged and faulty. So we're going to break that monopoly, and no longer will CARB be the only third-party certifier for these aftermarket parts. Again, President Trump is insisting on fixing it. This presidential memo does that. President Trump was calling me up on a Saturday night when this idea first came to his head, and he says he wants to do a press conference right away to get this over the top. In February 2nd, we signed a right to repair for our farmers so that they can repair their tractors and their non-road equipment, and this is covering everyone else.
I mean, think about it. It came to my attention because I noticed they were arresting people for fixing their car. They were arresting people for fixing it. That's not even believable. Anyway, so it's right to fix, and I think it's really common sense. If somebody wants to fix, some of these people are better mechanics than the mechanics in the shop. They're telling the mechanic in the shop how to fix their car or their truck. We signed the truck one a little while ago. So I'm going to sign this, and I'll be happy about it. We rule by common sense to a large extent. All right, Lee, good job. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
My suggestion to Trump would be to say, we lead with common sense. He said rule. That's the way the leftists twist that around. They say, he's trying to be a ruler, a king. Yeah, we lead with common sense. It's just a small thing, but I'm sure they'll straighten that out in their PSYOP department. But anyway, here's Trump talking about that goofy parliamentarian. And that is someone who's out of the reach of the President of the United States because that's a member of the Senate. And he points out the fact that John Thune can remove that parliamentarian at will. At will. He doesn't need to go through any procedures. And she's been there since the Obama administration.
Imagine why you keep a woman that was put there by Harry Reid and Barack Hussein Obama. I cannot understand it. The leader has the right to fire the person at will and put somebody else there. That could be, because we get so many negative rulings from her, the parliamentarian. She's been there for years, and she was put there by Harry Reid and Barack Hussein Obama. Harry Reid was a bad guy, and he was the leader, and he put her. And the speaker has the right to immediately fire her and put somebody else there. And it's not even believable that she's still there. She's obviously a good politician or something.
Keep in mind, they passed Obamacare through budget reconciliation. The problem they're having with this parliamentarian is the parliamentarian is saying that you can't put the Save America Act in rules. That's the lie, in my opinion, that they're putting out. Oh, but it was okay to take a third of the nation's economy and put it into a Marxist program called Obamacare. You could do that, but you can't put the Save America Act in there. So, yeah, this parliamentarian is a plant, and Trump is telling Thune to get rid of them. Trump can't remove her because she's part of the Senate. The Senate is one branch of government. They take care of their own affairs. And Trump doesn't have any say-so over who's the parliamentarian. The Senate is a separate body. It'd be like Trump telling Clarence Thomas, he's got to fire his clerk. Clarence Thomas, you got to fire your clerk. Well, Clarence Thomas doesn't have to. Separate bodies. Okay. Hi, Bambi. Oh, yeah. Well, being successful was easy. Bambi, everybody be doing it. Everybody be doing it. That's why it's a singular group of people who are successful and a large group of people who sit around on their rear ends wanting things for nothing. Because that's easier. It's easier to pee and moan than to go out and work. Speaking of peeing and moaning, boy, I tell you what, I'll play this. Wait a minute. Citizen Free Press put this up. Let me refresh my memory about who this person is. Oh my goodness, why won't that expand? I hate this when this happens. There we go. Meet Talang Mofoking. Did I say that right? The UN Special Rapporteur on Health. She praised Hamas, promoted prostitution in Teen Vogue, and called British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak filthy. After tyrants and NGOs like Amnesty International lined up to praise her, Nile Nuer took the floor. Hillier Nuer. So, I don't know, I'll play it. Who's Thailand Mofo King and who's Hillel Nuer? Anyway, let's see if there's a name tag there. Let me get this expanded. Is this the rapporteur? Yeah, this is the person advises other people on health at the United Nations, good health. And looks to me like, do you ever pick up like a big fern leaf near a creek and you see this big toad frog sitting there staring at you? Doesn't move. Big toad frog. That's what it reminds me of. But anyway, these are the people who think they can run the world.
The failure of states to adopt an anti-racist, anti-colonial, and dignity-based approaches through extractive capitalistic practices, pillaging of resources, coloniality, genocides, and then crushes people under the weight of indignity. Health cannot be realized without dignity.
South Africa commends her distinguished tenure, grounded in dignity, equality, and inclusion.
We thank the Special Rapporteur for her principled voice and solidarity.
The Arab Group thanks the Special Rapporteur and we commend her prioritization.
We celebrate the incredible legacy of Dr. T. She has made clear the intersectional links between colonialism, racism, patriarchy, and power.
We also commend your courage in documenting genocidal acts perpetrated in Gaza.
I'm a proud African trans woman delivering this statement on behalf of 37 feminist organizations. We commend the Special Rapporteur for calling for the decriminalization of abortion and sex work. She has recognized Israel's genocide. We call on this council and its special rapporteurs to build progressively on Dr. Mofokeng's considerable legacy of body of work.
Thank you. I call on United Nations Watch.
Special Rapporteur Mofokeng, your report focuses on human dignity, including protection from exploitation. Now on page 21, you refer to sex workers. In that regard, you've published an article for Teen Vogue magazine encouraging adolescents to view prostitution as legitimate work. Given the widespread exploitation, trafficking, and abuse in the prostitution industry, do you still stand by those remarks? On page 2, you write that health cannot be realized without dignity. Do you believe your own conduct reflects that principle? As documented in UN Watch's latest report, you have repeatedly used profane and abusive language against those with whom you disagree. On July 1st, 2024, you called former British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, quote, filthy. In a tweet about him on December 8th, 2023, you wrote, quote, effed up. Is this dignified behavior? On pages 1 and 3, your report opposes stigma and racism. Yet when I criticized your conduct, you called me evil scum white man. As a result, South Africa's health authority found you guilty of bringing the medical profession into disrepute. Do you now regret those remarks? Special Rapporteur, you were elected chair of the UN Human Rights Experts. Is your conduct setting the right example? Finally, South Africa gave the world Nelson Mandela, who taught that human dignity belongs to every person, including one's political opponents. Special Rapporteur, do you believe that Nelson Mandela would have approved of your conduct? I thank you.
And in the face of fierce personal targeted attacks, incitement of violence against me, escalating into domestic spaces as professional harassment and intimidation, both in real life and in online spaces, I stand here today with very few answers to the grand scale of human suffering.
So if you point out her own words, your attack, it's a personal attack. She's a Marxist. She's morbidly obese. She's got an obviously unhealthy lifestyle. You saw the parade of degenerates praising her, and we're paid for most of that UN crap. And I can't say the word FA and then T, just like I can't use the word FA and what? G, but she's telling underage kids to look at prostitution as legitimate work. Well, she must charge by the pound is why she thinks it's such a good way to go. But I doubt there's that many takers. Hi, axe hammers. Let's see. Yeah, diet lady. Well, what does she probably thinks that's unhealthy too. Let's see. I heard a tweet. Oh, shoot. I'm trying to see. That's why I don't like messing with the screen because. Yeah, anyway. So now she's gone. Got that out of there. Oh, here's Clarence Thomas. I didn't get a chance to listen to this. Can you tell by the look on his face? What one of the reporters apparently is asking him about birthright citizenship. Can he give them a hint about birthright citizenship? I uploaded this and I didn't get a chance to play it yet. I'm glad to hear that, Angela. I'm glad you're laughing, honey. I hope you're feeling better too. And Randy, I hope you're out there listening to us, buddy. Hope you're feeling good too. But anyway, let's see if we get a hint from his face. If he has a mad look on his face, oh, I'm going to be mad.
I guess so.
Justice Thomas, can we ask who you were meeting with today?
What'd you say?
Can we ask who you were meeting with this afternoon?
What'd you say?
Who were you meeting with this afternoon?
Oh, nobody.
You weren't meeting with the speaker, you were in...
Oh. Walking?
No meetings in particular?
I'm going to tell you about.
Tomorrow's going to be a big day at the court, huh? Final day of decisions?
Oh, I guess so.
You want to give us a sneak peek of some of the decisions?
Nope.
But you can't tell us why you're up here today, who you're meeting with? Who were you meeting with, sir? Were you up here for any particular reason? No info on who you may have been meeting with? Anyone in House GOP leadership? That's who has offices in there. Any matters you were up here discussing? Any comment on today's decisions and the end of the Supreme Court term?
You have good questions.
And any comment on the end of the term?
You have good questions.
Do you want to answer any of them? Any comment at all?
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Well, he seemed kind of happy. That makes me feel better. Have you all heard when they're gonna release the decision on birthright citizenship? Let me see. Yeah, she was annoying. She was annoying. He took it in stride. She wasn't friendly. I don't know. I got the feeling she was insinuating that. That's what I kind of got the feel for. I can't remember her exact words, though. Is that the feel you all got? Is this another Trump clip? Let me see. I feel better because he's laughing, but he must have met. Well, I'll drop my spectacles. He must have met with Speaker Johnson. I don't know. Yeah, here's another clip from Trump. Oh, I meant to tell you all about that fixing your own car stuff. I had an article I wanted to show you all last week where there's like 7 states trying to outlaw cars built before 1995 or restrict them in some way. We'll get into that discussion later down the road. But anyway, here's Trump again. Let's see what he's talking about.
It's a big threat to our nation, actually, because it's not socialism, it's really communism. They use the word social democrat because it sounds so nice, but it's really communism you're talking about. I think it's the biggest threat to our nation there is, maybe since our founding. That includes World War I, World War II, September 11th. It includes the Pearl Harbor attack. I think this is the biggest threat to our nation. People will smile when I say that, but the smart people are going to say, he's probably right. It's basically introducing communism into the United States of America. There's never been anything so dangerous.
It's insidious. It is a danger, and he's making no bones about it. Felix, how you doing? I heard there was going to be released today. I heard they were going to release the ruling today. I don't know what... Tammy, she sounded a little gruff, didn't she? Sound like a dude, sounded kind of gruff. That's because their lips are angry all the time. You know that? Maybe he was, I don't know, conferring with, what do you do as Speaker of the House when the President of the United States declares the Supreme Court and certain members of Congress and the Senate to be insurrecting? What do you do as chief law enforcement officer when you find out you're President of the United States, you're the head sheriff, you're in charge of law and order, and you hear something like this? This man is telling Dr. Phil that they purposefully coordinated to get people to eat crappy food so they could sell more medicine and have more business as people got sick. He uses the term, I think it's intentional malfeasance. Remember I said, remember the words malfeasance and misfeasance? You'll be hearing them more. Well, that's a kind way of putting it, but I'd say fraud, okay? Criminal fraud, when you're inducing people to do things that will harm them. Perfidy, to make them sick so you can profit off of their illness, okay? Fraud and perfidy. But anyway, here he lays it right out, folks. The more people that hear this, the better.
If you're reading the back of the label and you wouldn't know where to find that ingredient in the grocery store, it's very likely a highly processed food. So if you don't know where to find the polysorbate 80, or what aisle the carrageenan is in, or the red dye number 40, that's a highly processed ingredient. You don't need to be a PhD in chemistry and understand what the terms mean. You just need to know if it's not in the grocery store, it was put in before it arrived, and it wasn't put in by Mother Nature. It was put in as a preservative, a thickening agent, a flavoring agent. And a lot of these are intentionally designed. You know, I chair Bobby Kennedy's MAHA action. MAHA is an apolitical committee that is helping get the word out about the need to be eating a whole food diet, getting physical education back in the public school system, removing black box warnings from female hormone therapy, doing things that will have a dramatic impact on humanity by upending the current system in a way that'll be beneficial for Americans. And when you look at the intentionality with which this was done, like that food pyramid wasn't architected by accident. You know, Lucky Charms wasn't more nutritious than grass-fed steak by accident. Highly processed foods didn't make it to the top of the chart. You know, grains, high glycemic sugars, which you eat very little of, highly processed foods, that was intentional. And we are undoing decades of intentional malfeasance that, in my opinion, not to be a conspiracy theorist, was designed to make the American population sick and more dependent on drugs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, and I don't think it's just wild conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory. You're Dr. Phil. He knows what's best, right? Doctor's orders. But anyway, yeah, we've been being played, and it's not just about the food. There's Miss Minder Sue putting in boom for buy me a coffee. Boom. Kapow, kapow. I want to thank Miss Minder Sue for dropping a Moab. Kaboom, kapow. So happy birthday to Miss Minder Sue. There you go, some hearts. And we also had Angie come start off the week. Kapow! And Norm stopped in to buy me a coffee. Boom! And Robin and kaboom! And Mike and Bev coming by buy me a coffee. They watched me on the big screen. I forgot to put up my postage stamp the other night, but I happened to do that. Maybe I'll remember tonight. Kaboom! And also, Wayne stopped by, buy me a coffee. Kapow! I appreciate it for this week ending. Pretty soon we're going to be all celebrating the 4th of July. And we all want to be in a good mood, and we want to feel that we're successful. Our nation is successful. We are in a safe and prosperous society compared to what was happening under the Biden administration, right? That they're exaggerating and fibbing about calling Trump what they're calling him, the names they're calling him. And then we will have our retribution. Here we go. Trump, Mike as House races towards recess. Well, Mike Johnson, you can't put it in. You can put it in the reconciliation bill, but when it goes to the Senate, the parliamentarian will say it's not allowed. And if John Thune doesn't fire her, we're not going to get passed. So the spotlight's going to be right on John Thune. Johnson is in charge of the House. He has no say in the Senate parliamentarian. Okay? So it's not his fault. Here we go. And wokeness put this up for the commies. Harvard. These are the people who want to take Elon Musk's money and say they will save the world and feed people. These same people right here. Harvard University, $56.9 billion. You see the endowments they have. Princeton, $36 billion. University of Pennsylvania, where they had 10 and 12-month-old so-called fetuses doing experiments on living entities. I'm not kidding, folks. Wait a minute. Gestation's only 9 months. That wasn't robbing the cradle. They robbed the womb and took a human being. And anyway, we're going to see what happens with that. Okay. Cornell, $12 billion. Brown University, $8 billion. Yale, $44 billion in endowments. World hunger, LOL, with his money. Y'all remember me talking about that with University of Pennsylvania? They arrested 2 professors. Right? Who's this guy? Pennsylvania senators bypass Democrat governor. Ensure states' participation in America's 250 fair. So state fairs, that was one thing I left off that the left is worried about. They're consumed. They're consumed with Epstein. They're consumed with the reflection pool. And they're consumed with state fairs. They want to destroy Trump in the pettiest ways possible. But this, who is this senator, is Dave McCormick, indicated he has taken action to ensure Pennsylvania's participation. Why would a Democrat governor try to exclude his state and kids? You know, kids go to VOAG and learn how to raise cattle and sheep, and they show off, their ducks and at the state fair. Why would you want to destroy that? Why would you? And it's mostly about farming. State fairs are mostly about farming in my book. Tractor pulls, okay, and stuff like that. Why would you want to snuff that out? Well, here's something. Children facing mental health crises as referrals reach over 1 million. Who's this from? Sky News. The number of young people being referred to mental health treatment in England has risen to more than 1 million. No kidding. No kidding. They're being driven nuts because they're being exposed to people who try to talk them into cutting off their genitalia. Would you sleep good at night if you knew in the morning you had to go to school and have somebody with purple hair and an infected nose ring asking you about what's going on with your private areas? I'd be mentally distressed too. Or you have gangs walking down the street, like what happened to those 250,000 young people that Starmer lied about. You'd be terrified. So you're not providing a safe country. What did I just say? Safe, prosperous country. That's what Trump wants to project and effect for citizens of the United States. You're not doing it for your country. You're failing. What's this one? Oh, popping up on my notifications. Here we go. What is the propaganda? They got exclusive inroads to hundreds of millions of people's phones. It's just like having somebody whisper in your ear. With final decisions ahead, the Supreme Court is sharply divided. Whether President Trump can end guarantee a birthright citizenship. It's no guarantee. It's where we've been taken advantage of by a lack of leadership and insidious communists twisting the law. There's no guarantees of birthright citizenship by people who are not lawfully allowed to be here. But that's the message here. Here's another message. What are they trying to tell me? Was that Newsweek? Here, The Hill. House Republicans say Congress, quote, probably will have to use the Reconciliation Act for war funding. War funding? Is the parliamentarian going to trip Trump up on, or try to trip up? You don't trip up Trump. They're going to try to trip him up. Oh, that subliminal message there is we're losing so much money to the Iraq war. Oh, here's Axios. I don't look for this stuff, folks. It pops up on my phone. It's called propaganda. There they show an old person, and the person that's supposed to be helping them walk vanishes. See that picture? In other words, Trump is taking away your helpers. He's leaving you crippled, old, and alone. Senior care providers shaken by protected status ruling. It affects the legal status of an estimated 13,000 nursing assistants and 8,000 caregivers. Well, if they're here unlawfully, we have to hire young American women instead of having them have no job opportunities or be told by some obese member of the UN to become a sex worker. Why? I'll tell you what Obama did just before he left office. He gave preferential treatment to oppressed groups and minority groups, made available hundreds of millions of dollars for preferred minorities to go and buy up nursing homes around the country. Check out your local nursing home or homes. See who the new owners are. They got free money to be in charge of elder care, preferential treatment, DEI. And who do you think they're going to hire? And if they got a chip on the shoulder about old white folks, how do you think those old white folks are going to be treated? Who's this? Review the legality of mass voter purges in the weeks before an election. That verbiage is designed to make it seem like people are being driven away from the polls. No, it's cleaning up corrupt voter rolls. The Supreme Court will review the legality of mass voter purges in the final weeks before an election year. They're doing it at the very last second. They're driving away good people and purging them from their. The court said you can clean up all that crap you got stuffed in there. People who don't live in the state, people who have passed away, people who are not citizens, that can all be cleaned up. My God, it's constant. Breaking a landmark decision to transform the federal government. Rolling back 90 years of legal precedent. Oh, here we go. The Supreme Court is changing fundamentally. No, it was a misunderstood ruling. I'm not going to get into it. But the chief executive can fire people. It's that simple. One executive, it says it in the Constitution. 90 years of legal precedence that had prevented at-will removal of independent agencies, officials, and significantly expanding presidential power. No. Before Humphrey's executors, what they're referring to, the president could fire any damn body he wanted. Humphrey's executor gave the liberals an excuse to create essentially a deep state. And that's been kicked out of the picture. It's gone. Back to square one where we started. Deleted tweets. Remember this woman on I don't know what the hell her name is, account. had favorable references to communist leaders and Marxism. Duh. Duh. CNN's reporting this. Oh, ain't that something? This Democrat congressional nominee endorsed by Zoran Mamdani maintained a since-deleted Twitter account with repeated sympathetic references to communism, Marxist ideology, and Soviet figures, including Vladimir Lenin. Well, like nobody knew that. Well, Iran is going back to the negotiating table, right? Babylon B put up. Trump's starting to think Iran might not be trustworthy. Yeah, we know they're liars. We know they're trying to hamper Trump, and they're going to cause as much trouble as they possibly can right out. They want to take Trump out, and Trump is playing this game of chess with them. But for all their big talk, they attacked 2 vessels, and Trump thumped them so hard. Within 48 hours, they were back at the negotiating table. Here they are. Of course, they say, well, we're working with Pakistan and anybody but Trump. But you're at the table, aren't you? Reports say U.S. and Iran agree to halt strikes. Doha talks set for tomorrow. I think what we're going to end up, Richard Nixon wanted to take Carg Island. That might be one of the reasons why he was removed in a silent coup. For alleged crimes nobody can even enunciate today. They couldn't tell you what he ever did wrong. But the media helped put it all together. Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine is discussing with France the acquisition of a license to produce Scalp cruise missiles. Ukrainian defense minister. You know, the French seized a Russian vessel. Had you heard that? A tanker. And a week before, or a few days before that, the British seized a Russian vessel. Well, look here. What's that on top of that? Marshal Vasilev. That's the name of the ship. Look what they got. Russia has started installing weapons on its tankers, writes the Times. On the bridge of the Marshal Vasilevsky, I always got to remember to put ski on the end of it, like tough shit ski. The Vasilevsky, one of the main Russian tankers for transporting LNG. 2 stationary guns were noticed, likely for protection against drones and attempted boarding attacks. That's a little message to Britain and France. They're going to start arming their basically merchant vessels, which we're going to hear about maritime law and merchant vessels now because of this situation. Together, NATO, together with Ukraine, is preparing to create weapons to destroy Russian air bases, including those deep in the country, says the Russian Foreign Ministry. France and Britain seizing tankers, NATO making threats, according to the Foreign Ministry. Ukrainian drones falling in NATO countries. This is the price Russian oil refineries and military bases. Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Takshaw, I can't say that last name. So they're helping shoot them down, I guess. No, they're happy that Ukraine is flying over Estonia to strike Russian oil. They say it's worth it. Belarus will respond with all its military potential if Ukraine crosses its border. Deputy head of the Belarusian Foreign Ministry. The reason I'm showing you this, because Belarus is an ally of Russia. Look at the name. Belarus. Russian. Okay? And then you have, that's why they say you balkanize something, it means you divide it. You get people fighting against each other. It's balkanized. You have Estonia saying, yeah, bomb Russian oil sites. And then Belarus is, oh no, we're on Russia's side. And we will fight if we have to. Well, the president of Belarus, who met with Trump, and Trump praised him. Okay, so I got something on my screen here. Okay, also went to China and met with Xi. And after meeting with Xi, China put out a statement. China supports Belarus in defending its sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. Xi Jinping had a meeting with Lukashenko in Beijing. Remember that? So remember, if something pops off, Lukashenko is going to play a big role. And Trump said he was working with Lukashenko in Belarus. So you got Russia working with Belarus, China working with Belarus, the United States working with Belarus. Remember I said some things are predetermined and that they're working together in a coordinated special military operation to end the criminality of human trafficking, biolabs, and all the other stuff we discussed. And Donald Trump posted this, and I know you all don't need reminding, right? Pray for Venezuela. We have a video of a young child being rescued. I wonder if I still have it in my studio. Let me look down here. Well, I think I put it in the studio and we can play it tomorrow. Let me see what this is. Did I get to play this yesterday? I'm not sure what this is.
Next time they say that.
Oh, I'll play him later. That's a commie. That's a commie. I don't want to deal with no commies tonight. I've dealt with them enough. Play this. The other night, Donald Trump posted this. An interview, and Donald Trump's health came up. Yeah, I heard about that, Roland. The ranch in Texas. Just looking through the chats. Oh my goodness. We didn't have anybody come in and, well, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Anyway, who's this interview with?
President Trump.
Yeah, they're talking about President Trump's physical condition. So anyway, what do I always say, folks? I say thank you for spending your precious time. If something big happens, I'll be going live tomorrow, right? Don't I do that when something big happens? And if Donald Trump is at an event and it's my broadcast time, I usually don't broadcast when Donald Trump is giving a speech or something during my broadcast time. But anyway, if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So why haven't you hit the subscribe button? And don't forget to give me a like if you like the video. And I'm putting on my screen the postage stamp. I call it a postage stamp. What is it called? QR code, that's what it's called. QR code. So anyway, there you have it, folks. So, once again, thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope you enjoy this clip, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Turns 80 years old, same day as this broadcast. You see him every day, almost every day. He's 80 years old, almost, as we talk right now. People talk about President's health going back to the founding of the country. How do you see it, knowing you're not a medical professional? How do you see his health, his energy at this age?
Yeah, so first of all, if this is airing on June 14th, the most important day today is not the president's birthday. It's happy anniversary to my lovely wife. So this is our, I guess, 12th wedding anniversary. But, you know, my sense of the president's health is that it's off the charts good. His focus, his energy, his constant grinding. I mean, the presidency is a crazy job. You constantly have, you know, more than a dozen cabinet secretaries. You have every particular crisis that comes up. They're coming to you at all hours of the night. And the joke that I have with Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, is, yeah, we get a call at 2:30 in the morning, and it's the president. And he's like, "Were you awake?" And it's like, "Yes, sir. I'm always awake at 2:30 a.m." and that's been my sense of the president, is that he's constantly going. I think that he feels a sense of, you know, if you're lucky, you get 8 years in that job. He's one of the lucky ones. But 8 years is not that long, and he's trying to make every single day count. So he's constantly pushing everybody to do as much as possible. So I think he's in great health. I think, you know, you see the people, the media constantly talking about that. I guess this is just something the media is going to talk about. But from what I've seen, I've literally never once thought to myself, he doesn't have the stamina or the energy to do this job.
Never
if anything,
once.
not once. If anything, he's got more stamina and energy than a lot of people in the cabinet who are 30 years his junior. And I think that's a good thing, because you want a president who is able to do that grind every single day.